Hello, everybody, and welcome to an episode of United Talks podcast. And today, we're basically going to be doing the 5 takeaways, or the takeaways from the game between Manchester United and Spurs. And the truth is, one might ask, what did we learn from the game? What did we learn from a game that saw us win made us win kind of like a 4-peat, 4 games in a row? What did we learn? What are we taking away from this game? I mean, we're not forgetting that we're going to do tactical analysis and stuff, but the question still stands. What did we learn? That's the question, right? And we're going to talk about it. We're going to do the 5 takeaways, right? But then, welcome back to the channel. And 4 games, 4 wins, 0 doubt. I mean, that is super interesting, isn't it? You know, if you're a Manchester United fan right now, waking up today, with a very special kind of smile on your face, obviously, because obviously Man United is winning. I've had some conversations with some fans, and they've said basically that they would like to celebrate this now and not mind what happens later down the road. I mean, the kind of smile you haven't seen in quite a while, obviously. The soft slide dance, the Mbeumo celebration, and all of that. You have all of that all in one game. And in the last 4 games or last 4 weeks, we've had all that. I mean, Michael Carrick has been nominated for Manager of the Month for January. I mean, what more do you expect, right? Right. So, the Theatre of Dreams, yesterday, as at the time of recording, amidst the solemn, moving 68th anniversary of the Munich Air Disaster, Michael Carrick's Red Army didn't just win, they commanded. And even with Liverpool's loss today, it solidifies our like we're 5 points ahead of them, basically in 5th, while they are actually in 6th, while Chelsea are 1 point behind, still chasing and still unbeaten in the Premier League since their new manager joined. Now, a 2-0 victory over Thomas Frank's Tottenham Hotspur might look like a standard win on the score sheet, but the context is everything. I mean, we're talking about a tactical identity finally taking root and a captain leading from the front, and a youth debut that brought a tear to the eye of the Old Trafford faithful. I mean, most of the people, you can see all the reactions and everything, right? But while the headlines are about to, we're going to talk about, the headlines are going to talk about Cristiano Romero's red card. We need to talk about what happened before and after the whistle. Is Michael Carrick making himself an un-fireable person, or un-fireable, candidate, despite, the Luis Enrique rumors? Are we, seeing the birth of a new Busby Babe era or something? So today we're just doing basically a deep dive into the 5 major takeaways from the win. We're going to also do some 3 bonus insights that you might have missed, and 3 massive reasons why, the United is back narrative is, starting to feel real, and fans are beginning to believe that. We can always talk about this, we can always analyze it and everything in between, but, it's one of those things. And for me, I'm still not going to get carried away. I'm just definitely not going to get carried away. I'm going to, let myself enjoy the win while it lasts, but then still keep my powder dry and as to holding the board accountable. Before we get started with 5 takeaways, Liverpool lost 2-1 at Anfield. Crystal Palace won, and the reason why I mentioned the Crystal Palace win is because it sends Tottenham from 14th to 15th, and then Liverpool losing at Anfield means that they are stuck in 6th with 5 points from 4th. And all of that. So I mean, it goes without saying that we've really done well. Now, the 5 takeaways. Takeaway number 1: the Carrick continuity is basically no fluke. First up, stability, and that is what Michael Carrick has done. He steadied the ship, right? For the first time in what feels like maybe an eternity, maybe 14 months, 15 months, maybe almost like 2 years, we saw an unchanged starting 11. Basically, Michael Carrick didn't overthink it. He looked at the team that dismantled Fulham and said, go again. This isn't just about fitness, it's about chemistry. The way Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro are rotating in that midfield triangle is starting to look like second nature, right? By sticking with the same group, Carrick is building a game model that doesn't rely on individual moments of magic, but also a collective positioning of the entire team. Even with Benjamin Šeško on the bench, a man who is basically a walking goal machine, Carrick trusted the system, right? And that is a mark of a manager who knows his best hand. And the truth is, I'm not going to put it past him. I'm going to give him his flowers when necessary, because he needs it, right? He definitely needs it. And we need to talk about that as well. So, like I said, we need to talk about it. We're definitely going to do a tactical breakdown and everything in between. But, you know, Michael Carrick has kind of shown that he cannot be dropped, or he's undroppable. Now, takeaway number 2 is Bryan Mbeumo. He's the ultimate tactical cheat code, basically. He starts off as a center forward, but obviously he's involved in the game in different capacities. We can talk about Bryan Mbeumo. I mean, since arriving, he's been a breath of fresh air. But yesterday was a masterclass in versatility. He starts from the center forward position, goes on to the right, scores a clinical opener from a brilliantly worked set piece routine. And then later in the game, he shifts to the left to accommodate Šeško, and he didn't miss a bit. His goal wasn't just luck; it was a testament of his movement. The flick from Kobbie Mainoo was the luck, but Mbeumo was the key. He's giving United the clinical edge in the box, and that is what we lacked since, well, name the year. Basically, you can think about it. We had Rashford and Garnacho at some point, and Sancho and Anthony. You know, you have Mbeumo, who is like all these three players in one, albeit not discrediting Rashford's ability, but obviously he was tired of being a part of this team and all of that. So Marcus Rashford doing what he's doing at Barcelona, and you have to think about the replacements, Cunha, Mbeumo. They're both scoring goals with reckless abandon. Yeah, obviously you can see in Premier League, but both of them combined have done more than 15-20 goals together, and we still have like 13 more games to go. So there's a whole lot of opportunities to actually score more goals. So Mbeumo, breath of fresh air, he's done really well. And he said, he talked about this in his post-match interview, where he said they've been practicing that set piece routine for a long time in training, and he's always been blasting it over the fence. But all of a sudden, on that day, he had to work, because obviously he had to ensure that he guided the ball to the bottom right of the post. So it was good. We won. That's the most important thing. Takeaway number 3 is the resurgence of the midfield general Casemiro. Obviously, Casemiro has been resurging for a long time. There was this stat that came out the other day stating that he was, integral to our winning, because obviously him being on the field meant that we won't lose, and whenever he goes off, we tend to concede goals. So if anyone tells you that Casemiro is finished, then show them the first 30 minutes of this game. He was everywhere. He was drawing the world-class saves from world-class saves from Vicario from 30 yards out. He was, mopping up dangerous crosses, and most importantly, he won the tactical battle that changed the game. Christian Romero's red card wasn't just a mistake by the Spurs defender, it was also a result of Casemiro's dominance and his persistence to actually press, and he was first to every ball, forcing Romero into a desperate, lunging challenge. And the fact that Casemiro stayed on the pitch after that knock shows the grit that this team has recovered. And that is what's most important. We need characters like that. But sadly, he's already about to leave. So we have to think about the way forward for this one. So we're going to take this one as a positive and move on. And the next one is takeaway number 4, which is the proactivity and reactivity. First of all, clean sheet. Say it with me. Clean sheet. Look into my eyes and say it with me. Clean sheet. So, but it wasn't hang on for dear life kind of clean sheet. Was kind of like a Harry Maguire and Diogo Dalot being aggressive, with Licha Martinez also taking charge of things, especially when it comes to nullifying the Spurs attack. When Spurs tried to break through Xavi Simons or Dominic Solanke, the line basically held firm. Even when Seno Lammens was called into action, just the only one stop he had early on early on to actually stop Conor Gallagher. The defense didn't panic. They actually squeezed the play, especially after the red card, making the pitch feel maybe like tiny for Tottenham. And their high line is a Jason Wilcox staple, as we've always known. But then this had Michael Carrick's imprint all over. We are seeing it, being drilled into the squad daily, basically. It is what it is. It's one of those things, and we have to just kind of accept the fact that obviously with a clean sheet, we have something to go by, something to go with, something to drive us through, the season. Yes, it's the 4th clean sheet, but it is a good one, right? Now, takeaway number 5 is the ruthless game management. And in years past, United against 10 men were often a recipe for frustration, albeit there is a reasonable explanation to the one that we lost at Old Trafford to Everton in 10 men. But we'll have our day against Everton, and we'll have to take our chance when it comes. We'll pass, obviously, when we are 10 men down, like against Everton, we'll pass them, because we didn't have options, we'll pass side to side for like 60 minutes and probably lose 1-0 like Everton, or draw 0-0, but not yesterday. I mean, the second goal was from Bruno Fernandes, it was as a result of basically sustained confident pressure, right? The Trivela cross, the interplay between Mbeumo and Casemiro, United looked like, they enjoyed having that extra man. They didn't just win, they oozed confidence, and that was obvious for us to see. First game in a long while that we had the most possession and still won the game. The introduction of Mazraoui, Ugarte, and Xerxes is all in the closing stages, showed the level of the squad depth that finally justifies the investment, especially in Mazraoui. Basically, he's still not ready to start a game, because Dalot is actually really playing well, in as much as we want to deny it, because I had a full-blown argument with somebody yesterday on a live talking about Dalot and all of that, but it is what it is, isn't it? Now, we're going to move over to the bonus insights so I don't waste your time. There are 3 bonus insights. Insight number 1 is the Munich motivation. You could feel the weight of the history yesterday, playing the day after the 60th anniversary of the Munich Air Disaster. Adds a layer of pressure, and you could see the players and the managers with the black armband, and only certain players can handle this kind of pressure. Carrick and Thomas Frank laying rates they call it. Laying rates was a poignant reminder of what this club is built on. You saw the opening 30 seconds, the Busby Babe style attack where Bruno slid in Mbeumo. The team also played with a sense of legacy. I mean, for the first time in a long time, I could see that in the Spurs game. It wasn't just 3 points, it was a tribute, right? When United play with that spirit, the Old Trafford atmosphere becomes a tough man that no tactical board can actually account for. Now, the bonus take number 2 is the Vicario wall, basically. And here's something that the highlights might, gloss over. Guillermo Vicario was insane. I mean, if not for the Spurs keeper, the game would have been 5-0. I kid you not. The acrobatic save from Casemiro's header, the 1v1 against Ahmad in stoppage time, especially even with the one where Šeško could have just headed the ball to another side of the net, but he headed it down the center. United's expected goals must have been through the roof. But we celebrate the 2-0 win. I brought you the stats as well. We should recognize the fact that United's attacking patterns are creating high quality chances consistently now, and we aren't just shooting from distance. We are carving teams open, and it's there for all to see. Bonus point number 3, or bonus insight number 3, is the Tyler Fletcher moment. I mean, the moment where we had Tyler Fletcher come on in 2026, the 2026 debut of Tyler Fletcher. Take a second to appreciate that. I mean, I posted the video on the channel and on our various social media platforms. You could actually see it there. In a week where we honor the academy roots, seeing another graduate step onto that grass in the stoppage time is actually massive, and you could see that the guy was super excited about that. I mean, the signal from it's a signal from Carrick and maybe the board as well that the youth, courage, greatness, and success mantra isn't just a marketing slogan. I mean, Fletcher looked composed. He tried to get as many touches as possible. He looked like he belonged, but he's still not ready. But then it caps off what was kind of like a perfect afternoon for the club's identity. But you have to also look at it from the perspective of the fact that, you know, Man United were winning and they had to bring him on so that at least he gets his debut. His brother has played like 3 or 4 games for Man United. He gets his debut and then he kicks on from there and sees how, I mean, he's one of the two of them, I think he's a talented one, but then his brother was also really versatile and stuff. So the Fletcher brothers are good players and I've seen them in the academy and I can tell. Now to do the positive spins, let's do the 3 positive spins from basically the fan perspective, right? The first spin is that top 4 is no longer a dream, it's a target, right? So let's be real. A few months ago we were, looking at the table through our fingers, and now we're chasing. I mean, 4 wins on the bounce has put us right back in the conversation of Champions League football. Not gonna lie, I'm excited about that as well. We've beaten City, we've beaten Arsenal, and yes, we're not facing City or Arsenal again, or even Fulham. And now we've comfortably dispatched top 4 rivals, Spurs, who are now sitting 15th, so we're not facing them again. The momentum is a freight train. It's a freight train now, and with the fixtures coming up, there is no reason we can't make 4th place our own by March. Most likely, getting the win against West Ham will kind of seal the deal and make it more interesting as we head into the game. So positive spin number 2 is basically the fact that Bruno Fernandes is back. But has he not been back ever before? Like, has he not been classy? I mean, people have been comparing him to other players. I mean, I don't want to mention those names because the truth is, it's absolutely ridiculous to compare somebody who has had 200 goal contributions. Our captain is enjoying his football, obviously. When Bruno is ghosting into the box to score volleys and hitting Trivela crosses, and also, the whole league should be scared. He's leading the league in assists and in chances created. He's not just a creative engine, he's now the emotional habit of the team, or he has been the emotional habit of the team. Under Michael Carrick, he seems to have found the balance between risky passes and controlled possession, but then he still does those risky passes. He does it even more now, and if this is the Bruno we get for the rest of the season, trophies aren't out of the question. But then what trophies are we targeting? Maybe Champions League, but that's a positive spin. I mean, Champions League spots, would that be like a trophy for us or an achievement considering where we finished last season? Or could it be that we'll be targeting, I don't know, I'm not gonna mention it. No. Champions League spots, that's what it is. It is what it is. I'll leave it there. You all know what I said in the first video, so in the season preview. So let's work with that, right? Now, positive spin number 3, right, which is kind of the last but not least before we give our final take. The manager search is a win-win situation, basically. But I'm gonna put this as a positive spin, but I don't believe it. I'm just gonna put it. And the reason why I say I don't believe it is because I don't believe that the board are going to make the right decision, but it is what it is. Now, here's the ultimate positive spin here. Under United are in a position of power, whether Ineos manages to pull off the Paris heist, basically trying to get Luis Enrique and bring in Luis Enrique, or whether they decide to go Michael Carrick or any other person. Michael Carrick has actually earned the right to lead the project permanently. And like I've said in several videos, he's someone that I can back. He's someone I can say, okay, I back. But his way of approaching this game, a sustainable way against some teams, right? Basically, there's still gaping holes in this team. We need players. No matter what you want to say, we need at least 5 players. And Ina's gonna break the bank to try to get those 5 players. But Michael Carrick has put himself in the hat. Right, so we're no longer looking like a broken team, looking for a savior, but we're also a rising team looking to be looking for the right pilot, right? The vibes are high, yeah, albeit we've seen this before under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. The football is good, yes, we did see it under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and for the first time in the post-Fergie era, the managerial search feels like an embarrassment of riches rather than a desperate scramble. But then, getting Champions League football makes the managerial search even better, right? Because the next manager comes into the club, if he's best in class or is a winner, a proven winner, he comes into the club, and obviously he tries to make everything happen in the sense that he's coming in to play Champions League, right? So it is what it is. But we're going to see all that and all that. But my final take. Where does this leave us? That's my question. Basically, in as much as we learned a lot from this game, where does it leave us? We've got the 60th anniversary, honor the performances, honor the performance of the babes. I mean, and that's basically the performance that the babes will be proud of. We've also got the squad looking fit, hungry, and dare I say tactically elite. Obviously, they look like it. And we have fewer games, 1 game a week, because one might be asking, what is this guy saying? It's actually 1 game a week. We look like we're physically, ready. But I want to hear from you guys, basically. Let me know your thoughts and feelings. Michael Carrick is currently on a 4-4-4. He's playing the so-called United way. He's blooding academic kids like Tyler Fletcher. He's getting tunes out of Casemiro, as Casemiro has been playing out of his playing really well the last couple of weeks. And basically, when people thought that Casemiro was gone, Casemiro was still, doing the Lord's work. Now, is it time to stop the search for Luis Enrique or other managers? Well, that's for you to put in the comment section. Should we go on with Carrick, or should we continue to search for Luis Enrique or any other manager, top-class manager? I mentioned Luis Enrique because we're linked with him. Is the answer of United's future already sitting in the dugout of Old Trafford? That's basically, should we go for Michael Carrick? Let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section. Now, for me, I'll keep my thoughts to myself, but I'll ask you because I want to hear from you all. Do you think that this honeymoon phase is exactly why we need a heavy hitter like Enrique to take us to the next level? Just simply answer whether it's a yes or a no to this question. Now, drop your comments below because my question still stands. Are you Team Carrick or Team Enrique? I'm going to leave another one, or team another manager. Maybe you place the manager's name in the comment section. And while you're there, tell me who your man of the match was. I put a poll on the community tab, and I put a poll in the community, and you guys really answered. We had over 200 comments and 200 votes, 243 votes, and 64% of the votes went for Bruno Fernandes. The options were Bryan Mbeumo, the goal scorer; Casemiro, the engine room; Bruno Fernandes, the captain; Kobbie Mainoo, the architect. That post got 243 votes, and of those 243 votes, 8% went for Bryan Mbeumo, the goal scorer; 12% went for Casemiro, the engine room; and 16% went for Kobbie Mainoo, the architect. The final vote, or the winner of this vote, was 64%, overwhelmingly Bruno Magnifico Fernandes. So, yeah, Bruno Fernandes won it. But for me, also, there's also other players that we could actually remember that really did well, like Casemiro, like I mentioned, Bryan Mbeumo, Cunha as well, Kobbie Mainoo, they really did well. Dalot, Licha, Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw, playing the most games now of anybody in that squad. Mbeumo was very close, but then a close second in this one is Mainoo, and third was Casemiro, and fourth was Mbeumo. Right. So you guys chose, and we'll go with your votes. Bruno is the man of the match. Now, if you enjoyed this deep dive, hit the like button. It really helps this channel to grow. It really helps this channel out. It's cheap. It's not, you're not paying for it. Just hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already, because we're going to be following, this managerial saga and the top 4 charge every single step of the way. Right? So if you haven't already, please do like, share, subscribe, as I said once again, and hit the notification bell so you don't have to miss anything. Put a thoughts in the comment section so we can talk, and let me know what you think about everything. Right? I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Take care. Goodbye, and God bless.